help out this administration, by the way, because they're saying they don't know whether or not Jeffrey Epstein was tied to another government. They have no idea if he was working for another government's secret service. They have no idea if he had ties to intelligence services elsewhere. This is the answer. If I can do this from my house, I feel like maybe the feds could do this. Maybe start with Ari Minash, who's on record saying that. Maybe start with these other people who are telling you how they're connected. Start with Bronfman, look into that whole thing. I'm just trying to help out the United States government here. Anyways, this confirms that what Ari Minash said was true, that Robert Maxwell got Jeffrey Epstein involved in weapons. And Vicky Ward, by the way, who is a journalist, reported also that Epstein had operated on behalf of the Saudi arms dealer Adnan Khashoggi. Now, if you're remembering the whole Khashoggi thing, you're like, oh, I remember that name, Jamal Khashoggi. It was like the quote unquote journalist that did not, brutally was murdered. He was a quote unquote, just a Washington Post columnist, Jamal Khashoggi. No, he was not. He was not just a Washington Post columnist. His uncle, Adnan, and this is according to the U.S. Defense Intelligence Report, was cited as one of the largest drug exporters from Colombia in the 1980s and the 1990s. And also Viktor Ostrovsky, we mentioned him yesterday. He is the guy that defected from the Mossad. He also claimed in his book that Adnan's loyalty, however, was not to Saudi Arabia, but was actually to the Mossad. He was apparently a long-time recruit of the Israeli Secret Service. Okay. So it is very clear that Jeffrey Epstein was working with, for, and around the Mossad. I mean, it's an absolute nonsense to pretend that he wasn't. Maybe this also explains why he had a Saudi passport. Again, if we're able to figure this out from home, do we really think that Trump and the administration and Pam Bondi with all the files before them can't do that as well? Anyways, back to Tower Financial Corporation. Jeffrey Epstein's now there. A defense contractor recommends that he gets that position. And what happens is that it becomes one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in United States history. The biggest until Bernie Madoff would come years later. So Stephen Hoffenberg, the CEO, who at the time when this Ponzi scheme was going down, ended up going to prison for crimes related to their schemes and the bank's eventual collapse because of it. It's a Ponzi scheme. There's a massive collapse, right? He claimed that while at the bank, it was actually Epstein. It was Epstein that, quote, was very heavily involved in the illegal side of the company, from money laundering to espionage to arms trafficking. Most of this work was criminal. After that, Epstein was able to finance his criminal enterprise, the financial trust company, and J. Epstein and Company. There was another one, I think it was called International Asset Collections. He was able to finance all of that with the assets and money from the Towers financial crimes, end quote. So yeah, but Jeffrey Epstein, regarding Towers going down, the Ponzi scheme, Jeffrey Epstein did not go down with them, because in 1993, Jeffrey Epstein left the Towers Financial Bank just before its collapse. So yeah, while Stephen Hoffenberg then spent 18 years in prison as the mastermind of the Towers Financial Corporation fraud, he actually claimed that it was Epstein who was the mastermind. He actually tried unsuccessfully to sue Epstein 3 times after he was released from prison in 2013. He said Jeffrey Epstein was the true architect, and Jeffrey Epstein had manipulated him. I got to tell you, I tend to believe that, given what we are seeing, these patterns. Yeah, I would think that someone sent him as an agent. The defense contractor definitely hired this guy, you can trust him. And then Jeffrey Epstein is actually working on behalf of who? Maybe not your company, maybe not America at all. These financial crimes, this pattern, Robert Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, we are seeing it's very clear they're robbing the piggy bank. The people that suffer are the people whose pensions it was when Robert Maxwell robbed the pension funds of the Mirror Group. In America, the same thing. You know, when these Bernie Madoff scams, and they say, "Oh, the money's all gone, and your entire savings has been depleted, but you know, you're just gonna have to work harder." I think we can probably stop there.